Joining us now is Democratic Senator Michael Bennet of Colorado, a member of both the Senate Finance and Intelligence Committees. So he had the pleasure of questioning both Tulsi Gabbard and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. today. Senator Bennet, I know it's been a really long day. Thank you for being here tonight.
Well, it's been too long, Rachel. I'm very happy to see you tonight.
I'm happy to see you too, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Tell me your overall impression of Ms. Gabbard at her hearing today and how you think she did, and what you were thinking in that moment that I just played for our viewers.
I think that she didn't do well, and I think she didn't do well with Republicans and Democrats, not because of, an attack on her patriotism, which is what she kept asserting before the hearing even started, but because I think there's a lot of question about her judgment. It just seems like every time she has the opportunity to go out of her way and side, for example, with a dictator who has rolled over the peaceful border of, let's say, Ukraine, she does that by sending emails in the middle of the night at 11:30 in that case. Or she goes to Syria and comes back and says, it goes out of her way again to say the intelligence community, who sometimes is wrong, but in this case was clearly right, that Assad had gassed his own people, that somehow that was wrong, and everybody who didn't agree with her was subject to some insane conventional wisdom. So it was a tough day in a sense, but I think a good day for the Senate's responsibility to advise and consent, and hopefully, show that the Senate is not going to be a rubber stamp for Donald Trump's appointees.
There has been some interesting reporting all along the way from the Wall Street Journal, from some other outlets during the course of when she was meeting with senators ahead of this confirmation hearing today, and even quite recently, just onto the eve of this hearing, saying that senators were, forgive me, kind of weirded out by her in private, that she didn't, in some cases, seem to know what the Director of National Intelligence was as a job. She didn't seem to understand the basic facts of some of the basic foundational responsibilities and abilities of the U.S. intelligence community, that she just didn't seem, that she seemed both attitudinally and perhaps intellectually unsuited to the work. Are those concerns that have been reported in the press, do you think that will be made manifest in any of your Republican colleagues saying no to her?
Well, I don't want to get into their heads, and obviously they have their own individual decisions to make, but the Intelligence Committee is a place where we historically have worked in a bipartisan way. It doesn't mean we agree on everything, but we take seriously our responsibility, because most of what we do is in secret, and most of what we do is a responsibility to the other senators who don't have access to the intelligence that we do, and to the American people who don't have access to it. So I can tell you that people take very seriously the signal that would be sent, for example, to the Intelligence Committee if we confirmed somebody who not only couldn't take the position today on Snowden, but actually wrote legislation to pardon Snowden long after the facts of Snowden were understood, because of the work that the House committee did, that clear that he wasn't a whistleblower, but that what he had done was, way out of line with what anybody should have done. He was part of our intelligence community. And I think, here's what I really think, Rachel. I think she is caught in this, I'm not sure what the word means, but I was thinking about it when you were describing what was going on, a miasma of this kind of confused social media chatter that outside of any hearing where you're actually being tested on something maybe makes sense, or maybe feels like something you can get away with. The same thing with Bobby Kennedy's half-truths, that the second that he's on in front of a panel where there are actual doctors who are Republicans who are asking him questions, he can't answer the questions anymore, because it's not just people that are nodding along and agreeing with the half-truths that he is articulating. And I think her approach to Putin is very much the same as Bobby Kennedy's approach to Medicare, if that makes any sense to you at all.
Yeah, exactly. What you're saying is that the real world isn't Twitter and isn't your fans.
Right.
The facts have a way of following you home in the real world. Democratic Senator Michael Bennet of Colorado, it has been too long since you've been here, sir. Come back soon. Thanks for your time tonight.
I will. Thanks for having me, Rachel.